Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhaddeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Mukam Karoli Vachalam Pangum Langayati Vigram Yat Krivatamham Vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam. So we will recite 9.17. Everybody got 9.17? Anybody who don't have 9.17? Okay, let's recite. Pitahamasya jagato
Pitahamasya jagato.
Mata dhata pitamaha Vedyam pavitram omkara
Vedyam pavitram omkara.
Utsamayajureva-cha
Utsamayajureva-cha.
Pitahamasya jagato
Pitahamasya jagato.
Mata dhata pitamaha
Mata data pitamaha.
Vedyam pavitram omkara
Vedyam pavitram omkara.
Utsamayajureva-cha
Utsamayajureva-cha.
Pitahamasya jagato
Pitahamasya jagato.
Mata dhata pitamaha
Mata data pitamaha.
Vedyam pavitram omkara
Vedyam pavitram omkara.
Utsamayajureva-cha.
Utsamayajureva-cha.
Prabhus.
पिताहमस्य जगतो
Pitahamasya jagato
माता धाता पितामहा
Mata dhata pitamaha
वेदं पवित्रम् ओंकारा
Vedyam pavitram omkara
ऋक्सामायुजुरेव च
Utsamayajureva-cha.
पिताहमस्य जगतो. माता दाता पितामहा. वेद्यं पवित्रम् ओंकारा. ऋक्सामयजुरेव-च.
पितामहस्य जगतो
पिताहमस्य जगतो.
माता धाता पितामहः
माता दाता पितामहा.
वेद्यं पवित्रम् ओंकारा
वेद्यं पवित्रम् ओंकारा.
सामयजुरेव च
Utsamayajureva-cha. Pitahamasya jagato Mata dhata pitamaha Vedyam pavitram omkara Utsamayajureva-cha. Pitahamasya jagato Mata dhata pitamaha Vedyam pavitram omkara Ritsamayajureva-cha. Pitahamasya jagato Mata dhata pitamaha Vedyam pavitram omkara Ritsamayajureva-cha. Pitahamasya jagato Mata dhata pitamaha Vedyam pavitram omkara Ritsamayajureva-cha. Pita, Father. Aham, I. Asya, of this. Jagataha, universe. Mata, mother. Dhata, supporter. Pitamaha, grandfather. Vedyam, what is to be known. Pavitram, that which purifies. Omkaraha, the syllable Om. Rig, the Rig Veda. Sama, the Sama Veda. Yajuhu, the Yajur Veda. Eva, certainly. Cha, and. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Please repeat the translation. I am the father of this universe,
I am the father of this universe,
the mother,
the mother,
the supporter,
the supporter,
and the grandsire.
and the grandmother,
And the object of knowledge,
and the object of knowledge,
the purifier,
the purifier,
and the syllable Om.
and the syllable Om.
I am also the Rig,
I am also the Rig,
the Sama,
the Sama,
and the Yajurveda.
and the Yajurveda.
Purport. The entire cosmic manifestations, moving and non-moving, are manifested by different activities of Krishna's energy. In the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy under the creation of Prakriti. Some of them appear as our father, mother, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually, they are parts and parcels of Krishna. As such, these living entities who appear to be our father, mother, etc. are nothing but Krishna. In this verse, the word Dhata means creator. Not only are our father and mother are parts and parcels of Krishna, but the creator, creator, grandmother and grandfather, etc. are also Krishna. Actually, any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. All the Vedas therefore aim only towards Krishna. Whatever we want to know through the Vedas is but a progressive step towards understanding Krishna. That subject matter which help us purify our constitutional position is especially Krishna. Similarly, the living entity who is inquisitive to understand all Vedic principles is also part and parcel of Krishna, and as such is also Krishna. In all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranava, is a transcendental silent vibration and is also Krishna. And because in all the hymns of the four Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Rik and Atharva, the Pranava or Omkara is very prominent, it is understood to be Krishna. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpadrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before I attempt to speak anything, I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas assembled here, so that I should be able to speak what I heard from my acharyas without any fault, without missing anything. And I also get the purification by speaking this transcendental subject matter. This verse 9.70 is a very important verse, wherein Krishna is actually talking about how he is manifested in this material world as the so-called creators. Like, why I say the so-called means, if you ask me, like, who created me, then what will I say? My father and my mother give birth to me, right? Who gave birth, or who created your father and mother? I will say their grandfathers. So Krishna is actually telling, I am the father, I am the mother, and I am the grandfather. That's what I said, the creator. So Krishna himself is claiming that I am the mother, I am the father, I am the grandsire. Why Krishna is saying? Because in the previous verses we have seen, Krishna was actually talking about Again, this is a very cliche question. Everybody asks this. Let me ask it again. What is the name of this chapter? The most confidential knowledge, right? And in this, why it is most confidential knowledge? Given by Krishna, yes. There is no specific answer, by the way, right? All the answers are right. But we just want to explore more, that's what. Why is it most confidential knowledge? Because of the ignorance. Yeah, continue. Because of the ignorance.
We are not able to understand Krishna.
So, Krishna is giving this confidential knowledge. Okay, good answer.
This is confidential knowledge, Prabhuji, because Krishna is telling a lot of facts about him being creator, being
Right.
there to do everything,
Yes.
which we were not aware.
Yeah, correct. Good. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
No, I'm thinking like this.
Hmm.
Is 99.5% of this material world, the living entity, is supposed to be the very intelligent people.
Hmm.
They know nothing about Krishna.
Yeah. Right.
That is why Krishna want to make understand everybody.
Hmm.
I'm the absolute truth.
Yeah. True. Yes. Any other thoughts?
Krishna is revealing his identity.
Krishna is revealing his identity, who he is. Yeah. Good answers, good thought. We just wanted to warm up, right? So that we all go at the same pace. All answers are right. I just wanted to put another perspective, right? See, to know Krishna is supreme. We all said to know Krishna, to understand Krishna is revealing, all this thing is correct. Another perspective to that one is to know how Krishna is supreme. Let's say, for example, if I know one person here, and if let's say Mr. XYZ, and if I say that, oh, he is a very great personality, he's a very influential personality, right? That is one knowledge. But then if I started knowing how this person is very important, is a very famous personality, how he is actually very influential, of great stature, that makes my understanding to him a much more, what's that called, a broader understanding, if I may speak that way. So, the confidentiality of the knowledge about Krishna is Krishna is supreme. Hare Krishna. Is about Krishna is great, and also how and why Krishna is great, right? And that is why Krishna is actually mentioning in this chapter. Krishna, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is mentioning, right? Namattaha pardaram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. All this thing, but in 9th chapter, Krishna is actually emphasizing more. So Krishna says in the beginning, right at the offset of this 11th chapter, Krishna actually says that avajanandi mam mudha, people don't know me, right? Why? Because I am not a normal human being, just like any other person. I am not even like a demigod. I am not even like the Brahma, the whole creator. I am the supreme proprietor, right? So a person who is understanding me anything lower than my standard is a fool. Just imagine. A person who is understanding Krishna anything below Krishna's standard is a fool, right? That includes we understanding Krishna as a Brahman and we understanding Krishna as a Paramatma is also can be categorized as the so-called fool. Yes, Brahman and Paramatma is the understanding of the Krishna, but those are the partial understanding of Krishna, right? So when we understand Krishna, what is that called? Krishna is called Bhagavan, right? What's the meaning of Bhagavan?
Having the qualities.
Huh? qualities. Yeah, possesses all the
64.
six qualities
Six
in
qualities.
fullness.
In full.
How many? Who can say what are the six qualities?
Wealth,
One.
wealth,
Yes.
Beauty,
tapas,
Huh?
tapas,
Great.
Austerity, right? Renunciation. Right, yeah. Okay. Jnana. Sorry.
power,
Renunciation.
Renunciation. Somebody already said.
power, sir, prabhu.
Strength.
Strength.
Right? So these are the five. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Veerasya, Yashasya, Sriya. Then Jnana. The fifth one. So these are the six qualities, right? And these qualities, if a person can have in full, that personality is called Bhagavan, right? Bhagavan means the person who is having the Bhaga means these opulences in full. That's called Bhagavan. So Krishna himself is saying like, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? I am the person who is actually having all this thing. And then sometimes when we read Bhagavad Gita, we wonder like, why this person is always boasting about himself. I am the great. I am the great. Look at me. Right? Why? Anybody have thought about that? I mean, it's like, for example, if Suresh Prabhu, right? And he just talks to us and say like, you know what? I have this big bungalow. You know what? I know this person. He's a close friend of mine. The mayor is my buddy. You know what? I've taken a PhD in this one. And if he started speaking like that, what do you think normally?
Is under high level of illusion.
Huh? Instead of we having a respect and having a big,
there will be a distance. We'll just think of
we
like
will just think
this
like, what is this person?
overseeing.
Right? 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 There is a saying that half-filled pot will actually make more noise. Right? A person who is full will make no noise. But Krishna is making a lot of noise in Bhagavad Gita. Why is that so? Anybody have thought about that?
Because there is no condition for Krishna.
There is no?
Condition for Krishna.
Krishna is not conditioned to speak like that, right?
No, there is no condition applies to Krishna.
No conditions apply.
Applies to Krishna as in like, if Krishna says anything, there is nothing affects him. Is that what you mean, Prabhu?
Yeah, whatever he does, nothing is going to affect him.
Affect him. Yeah, I got it. Any other thoughts?
Because if he doesn't speak, then we cannot know him. Nobody can know him.
Jai. That's all. Right? Yeah, Prabhu.
Because 99% of the people, they don't know who is he. And even after telling also, we are not able to understand. He is something beyond.
Yes.
So he didn't have any other alternative, so he has to tell you about
Exactly.
himself. That is the situation.
That's right. So that's what, Krishna, in one shloka, Krishna is actually, Arjuna is saying, like, what is that?
Param Brahma, Param.
Yeah, and these are also, who are all saying this one? Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Asita, Devala, Vyasa, they are all explaining about you. Swayam Chaiva, and you yourself is actually talking about you. So, it has to come from the Supreme Lord Himself, unfortunately, for the foolish people like us to understand He is the Supreme. Unless and until don't say that, and just imagine how shameful Krishna will be thinking, like, inside, my God, I have to tell all these things about me. But irrespective, let me tell. Why? Because there is no way, there is no hope for the humanity unless and until Krishna says. And unless and until we understand Krishna in Tattvataha. That's what the Tattvata word is added to that very cleverly, Krishna. What is that shloka? Janma karmacha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. Tattvataha is a very key word. Prabhupada emphasizes that word very, very strongly in his lectures and purports. Tattvataha means what? In essence, in totality. Right? When you understand that way, then only we will be able to Tiktva deham punarjanma. After leaving this body, we will go back to the Supreme World. We won't come back again. And that is a predicament we are having. That is the situation we are in. So Krishna has to tell Arjuna, I am. Right? Pashyami yoga maishwaram, Krishna says in one of the shlokas, in the 9th chapter. Pashyame yoga. Look at me, Arjuna. Pashyame yoga. Look at my opulence. We'll talk about that. That's an interesting slogan. So,
Prabhu, not only he told him, he actually showed him his universal form.
yeah, universal form is not the greatest form of Krishna. Universal form is just a material. As a matter of fact, universal form is material. You know that, right? Universal form is not spiritual. Universal form is the material representation of Krishna, right? So universal form is just a, what's that called? It's a very passive energy of Krishna, if I may speak that way, right? Anyway, so this confidential knowledge is being spoken by Krishna in this 9th chapter. And in the two shlokas, I believe in 15th and 14th and 15th, Krishna is actually talking about those Mahatmas. Who are the Mahatmas? Mahatmanastu Mahabharata. Devim Prakriti Ashrita. You know, they actually, Ashrita means take shelter of my divine energy. Right? And those are the ones who actually directly take my shelter of my divine energy. Is that right? But Krishna is actually talking in the 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th. Krishna is actually talking about those other people who actually not directly take the shelter of me. They indirectly take shelter of me. Right? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? One set of people directly take shelter of Krishna. They will Prakriti Ashrita. They will actually directly take shelter of Krishna, or they directly worship Krishna. There are others that is actually starting from what is that called? Jnana Ijnabi Chapyane Ekatvena Pradatvena Bahuta Vishwadomukham. Right? Ekatvena means one who are actually understanding themselves to be me. Right? In oneness. Most of us have seen that, right? Especially when you're coming from Bharata Resha. We have seen so many people who understand ourselves to be Narayana. In one of the temples in the state from where I come, there's a big temple. And when you just go inside the temple, you will think that okay, there's a big deity. Of course, the big temple means there's a big deity, very opulent deity. All you can see is a mirror. If you just go inside the temple, all you can see is the mirror. What does that mean?
You see yourself as Narayana.
Exactly. You just go and then you worship Om Namo Narayana. But you don't have to take Narayana, you just can even tell your name also. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, who is sitting inside is Narayana. And they actually very wrongly misinterpret or misunderstand the concept of Aham Brahmasmi. Right? Sometimes they call that as Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi means Tat Tum Asi. Tat means that. Tum means you. Asi means it is. It is that which is you. Or in other words, whatever we are talking about, what that means, the supreme is you only. You know? So that is what the misconception. So that is Ekatvena. Do you understand what I mean by Ekatvena? Ekatvena means understanding ourselves to be Narayana. Prabhupada says in this book, very famously in the purport, one saint was actually, there was a dog, and he was actually throwing a chapati to this dog and saying, "Hey Narayana, take this chapati." And there is dog Narayana, there is donkey Narayana, there is Daridra Narayana, there is all sort of Narayana, rickshaw wala Narayana, taxi wala Narayana, everything. But as a matter of fact, there is Narayana everywhere, right? But we are not identifying directly that person as Narayana. That person or the soul, we are not even looking at the body, we are looking at the soul inside. And that soul is not Narayana, that soul is a part and parcel of Narayana. And the Narayana is just sitting beside you. So if I say you are Narayana, you are actually not Narayana, but you are just a fragmental portion of. Did you understand what I'm trying to say? Anybody didn't understand? Raise your hand. Everybody understand? What is that? What is that I was
So,
trying to say?
Prabhu, question.
One second. Anybody didn't understand?
No, I'm just trying to understand this.
Okay.
So there's a little fire,
Yeah.
or there's a big fire,
Mhm.
but the fire is fire.
Yes.
Do you call that small fire as fire, or do you don't call it as a fire?
But qualitative and quantitative difference is there, right?
Quality is same,
Huh.
quantity is different.
Different, right? Like for example,
Yeah.
let's say for example, if I just gave you, if you're just very hungry, extremely hungry, okay? You have not eaten from the morning, and you come to home, and then Mataji just give one rice, one grain of rice.
One spoon.
Not even spoon, one grain of rice. And then Prabhu eat and say that, no, I'm very still hungry. Mataji said the quality is the same, right? Does that satisfy you? The quantity matters, bro. That is what, remember? Aishwaryasya samagrasya. You know the meaning samagrasya means? Complete. Samagra means complete, in totality. So the quantity matters here. You know what I'm saying? And that is why we call as Bhagavan. Right? Aishwaryasya samagrasya veerasya aishwaryasya. That is what, when you are having that in samagra, in completeness, that is when Bhagavan become Bhagavan and we become we. Right? And that difference makes us different. So, understanding how Krishna is the supreme, Krishna is actually talking about how you can directly understand me and how you can indirectly understand me. Right? And that is when Krishna is actually talking about. And Krishna is very, what is that called? Very straightforward, for lack of a better word. Or rather, very emphatically mentioning about this. Right? Why? Because he is talking about the mudhas as well. He was talking about the mahatmas as well. Right? And he is talking the third class people. So third class means third division. Who are the mahatmas? Sorry, I just want to make it interactive.
Who accept
Otherwise,
them in his pure form.
it's a very dry subject matter, I know, it's a little bit technical, but we just have to understand this, right? And that's what Prabhupada has given so beautiful purports, just to understand this. So who are the Mahatmas?
Who accept him in this pure form, like.
He takes complete shelter of Lord directly, understanding him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And who are the Mudhas? People who don't understand. People who don't understand Krishna.
They go through demigods and this and
Not
that.
even demigods. No. Demigods is the third class. That we will come. The people who understand Krishna as just like an ordinary man.
Okay.
Remember last class I was talking about, people have a very wrong understanding of Krishna. Krishna is like a womanizer. Krishna is like a cowherd man, boy. He was having some supernatural powers. They worship Krishna. Some of them even have Laddu Gopals, but they don't understand who Krishna is. Anyway, and then what is the third class or the third division? The other section, that is when we take Ekatvena, understand oneself to be Narayana. Prithaktvena. Prithaktvena is when understanding Krishna through the demigods, right? And Bahudo Vishwamukham. Vishwamukham means through this nature. Understanding Krishna through this nature. When we see sun, we just bow down to it. Everybody will actually, or rather some other people will actually worship sun. Some people will worship mountains. Some people worship trees, right? Some people worship, maybe stones, So many kind of things people worship. And this is the worship of Vishwamukham. Vishwamukham means like understanding or worshipping Krishna through the nature. Or maybe some people worship even the Virat Rupa also, the universal form also, right? So Krishna is actually saying that, okay, this is all are my energies, right? Vistabhyam idam Krishnam ekam shena sthido jagat. Everything is situated ekam shena. Ekam shena means as a spark, right? Just a spark of me, right? What is that shloka? It's saying like, Yadyad vibhudimat sattvam Srimat urjidam evava Tattat evava gachatvam Mama eko amsha sambhava. Whatever urjita means powerful. Srimad, very opulent, very great. Srimad Urja Tattat Evava Gachatvam Mama Eko Amsha Sambhava. Mama Teja Amsha. Teja means my splendor. Oh Arjuna, understand whatever we are seeing. We are seeing, I was taking my godbrother, senior godbrother, who is from Singapore. His name is Devaginathan. He came here and then I took him to the Niagara Falls. First time he's seeing. So he just saw the Niagara Falls from the, we were just walking, right? Niagara Falls towards the falls is a great, big walk. At least couple of kilometers we have to walk from the parking. So we just walking and walking and walking. And by the time he reached near to the falls, he was just awestruck. He was completely being like, what is that called? Surprised, by the sheer power of that falls.
33 million gallons of water.
Immediately,
he recited
this shloka came from his mind. Yat vibhuti masatvam, Srimad Urjadame, Mama Tejo. Just imagine, he was telling me, if this Niagara Falls is so powerful, millions of, of water, or what's that called? Millions of gallons of water, thank you, is falling in 1 second. And this Krishna says, Mama Tejo Amsha Sambhava. Arjuna, whatever you are seeing is just one spark of a splendor, of my splendor. Krishna is saying. That is how we should know Krishna as the Supreme. And when you know Krishna to be like Supreme in that way, then we will not take Krishna very lightly. Then we understand that we are dealing with somebody who is very powerful. Prabhupada says that you should be very careful. You are dealing with Krishna. Yes, Krishna is the most sweetest person. Yes, Krishna is the most powerful personality. Yes, Krishna is the most, Kanaya or whatever. But Krishna is also the most powerful personality of God. So before we having a loving and affection with Krishna, we should have a very thorough and strong understanding of the supremacy of Krishna. We should have a very strong and thorough understanding about the supremacy of Krishna, right? Because we are not having that spontaneous love for Krishna. Sometimes we have the tears from our eyes when we hear about Krishna Katha. Sometimes we will actually feel goosebumps when we hear about Krishna Katha. Sometimes we will actually feel so much ecstasy, right? About when we just hear about that. But still, we are on a very lowest level. We are not a what is that called? A pure devotee of Krishna. I am saying most of us, right, including me. There are few people, but extremely rare, at least in this material world, extremely rare to have those people who have that spontaneous love for Krishna. The spontaneous love for Krishna, Prabhupada mentions in the Nectar of Devotion, is just like a mother is having a feeling towards her child. When a mother sees the child, immediately that motherly affection overtakes her. When a lover sees another lover, immediately they have that loving feelings. They have the loving attraction. They don't have to force themselves. They don't have to force themselves to have that feeling. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And that is spontaneous love. And if we just look inside, then we can understand that we don't have that spontaneous love, right? Whatever we are actually feeling, then why are we just crying? Why sometimes we actually feel so much feelings for Krishna? Because we are emotional, right? Because we cry for Krishna as well, and we will cry for the movie also. In the web series going on, we will also cry for that thing. And we will, why? Because we just take that in an emotional level. oh, Krishna is saving a poor person. Oh, Krishna is actually giving shelter to another person. We will actually start feeling, oh, how great is Krishna, and then we started crying. It's just an emotional level. But there is a slogan, He Radhe, Shatko Swami Ashtagam, right? Raja Devi Ge Chalalite, He Nanda Suno Kutaha, Govardhana Padapadale, Kalandi Vani Kuta, Ghoshandavini Sarvado Vrajamukhe, Kheder Vihwala. Vihwala means extreme separation, the pain from that extreme separation, or rather the that feeling which we have for the lover, the feeling that a mother has for her child, and that is where we will be coming to that level of swabhavika bhakti, or rather spontaneous love. Until and unless that time, we will be having a very formal connection with Krishna, right? We have a very natural connection with this material world, and we have a very formal connection with Krishna. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? We are having a very natural connection means, sorry, not connection, connection is not the right word. We are having a very natural affinity towards this material world, and we have a very formal affinity towards Krishna. What does that mean? Because when we see something natural, our mind will very spontaneously getting attracted to that. Very spontaneously get attracted to that. For example, if I just take this mobile in my hand, I don't even know how much time I will be scrolling this mobile. Somebody has to tell, for the last 2 hours you are actually looking at the mobile. Whereas if you take Bhagavad Gita, oh, I have to read one Bhagavad Gita. First thing is that you take a sloka, you will be looking at the page. How much big is the purport? It's a small purport, okay for today. If the purport is, for some example, some of the Bhagavatam purports are like some 2-3 pages Prabhupada write. And then if you say that, then you will actually see that, oh, this purport is very long. You know what, I will read 2 paragraphs today. As if like you are doing a big favor to Krishna. I will do 2 paragraph today, 2 paragraph next, in installments I will read. And then you are doing a big favor to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. See, I have read 2 paragraphs. 10 minutes means 10 minutes, nothing more, nothing less. Right? That is our situation. That because see, I mean, I'm not saying that we are all. That is how it is. They are having a very, very natural connection with, and then the same person after 10 minutes of this Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, we'll just do, even washing the pots. We will just, we will wash the pots. How much of our pots, we'll just simply wash the pots. We will clean the floor, whatever it is. But to bring the mind to the spirituality towards Krishna is a big tiresome job. Right? It's a big thing. And that's what Arjuna says, and Krishna says, Yado manas chanjalam astiram tadas niyamitya. Yado nishalam, sorry, the sloka is actually tadas niyamena atmanyeva vasham nayet. Whenever your mind is actually going away, Arjuna, tatas niyamena atmanyeva vasham nayet. You have to bring your mind strongly back to this process. That is called abhyasa. We are all doing that abhyasa. Abhyasa means bringing the mind towards this. We are actually training our mind. Prabhupada uses this very famous example of training a horse. You know how a horse is being trained? The horse is actually caught from the wild forest, right? It's a wild horse. And then the horse will be actually put onto a stable. A stable means a closed place. And then they will not give any food for the first few days. And then the horse will actually calm down. It will calm down not because the horse understood that, okay, now I have to become calm. Why? Because the horse has no strength. The horse will lose its strength. Why? It's been eaten for 4 days. Right? And the horse, once it don't have the strength, that is when it will actually look for the food. And then before giving the food, the person who is training the horse will actually bring another horse. And will actually show him how the horse is actually riding and then moving, and then he give the grass to the other horse, and this guy will actually see. And then that is how we are actually training. And the same thing with all the horses and elephants and everything, right? They will actually train him. First of all, they will bring it and they will actually put it to restrictive, training one by one. And that is what this 4 regulative principle is being introduced, so that it will restrict our mind. First of all, we have to stop giving ahara to our mind. What is that called? Freely. We just have to stop the four or the most what is that called? Vajo vegam, manaso vegam, jihva vegam, uttaropastha vegam. Right? All these different vegas, we just have to restrict a little bit, or rather gradually. And that is what these 4 regulative principles are being ordained, so that we will be restricting it. You get what I'm trying to say? And that is when slowly and steadily we will be chanting. So once the ahara restriction happens, ahara includes your food as well as your other intakes. One is through your mouth, another one is through your ears, the eyes, ears, smell, all these things is ahara for you. Remember, I was telling the other day, ahara is not only through the mouth. Your eyes is always scanning and taking ahara every time. Right? Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. Now this dhyayato coming from where? To do dhyana, something has to be there in the mind. Now how these things are going to the mind? Don't follow?
Eyes, ears.
Right? Like for example, if you are just going through the road and then you see that, oh, nice car. A nice Toyota new model, RAV4, whatever, right? And then you just see that, okay, nice, beautiful car, right? That thought itself will actually go into your mind. It will sit there, right? Next day, you come out from your house in the morning and then you look at your car, right? And then you started thinking, I think my car is getting old. Now I think I have to change my car. Now the mind is already having that RAV4, which we see yesterday. Now the RAV4 will start thinking, okay, I think it's better to change my car now. Then he started dhyayato, Vishayan Pumsa. You know how the Vishayan goes inside? Have you seen there is a beautiful, Gandhiji uses a famous example of 3 monkeys. What are the 3 monkeys?
Bura mat bolo, bura mat dekho,
Right? It's not only bura mat khao, bura mat kaho, like bura mat bolo, bura mat khao also. Right? That is 4 regulative principles. None other way. Right? So that is how we have to restrict. And when you restrict that way, and then when you practice strict regulative principles like chanting of the holy name, understanding the scriptures, and slowly and steadily when you are gradually doing this bhakti yoga, this regulated bhakti yoga, and this is called vidhi marga. This is called vidhi marga means what? Rules and regulations, right? When you are actually doing this very, very, very strict rules and regulations, and you do bhakti according to that, that is the only way by which we can actually change this obstinate mind. Arjuna says that my mind is very obstinate for Arjuna. My mind is very obstinate. Mano digraham chalam. What is the shloka, Prabhu? Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Pramadi balavad dridam. Balavad Dridam means it's very strong and very firm. Balavad means
Very strong.
very strong. See, when you are having, your mind is very strong, right? If you wanted to say, if you are just going to temple, look at the clock and say it's only 5 o'clock. I'll go at 6 o'clock. A little bit more sleep. 6 o'clock, 6:30. I'm talking about myself. I'm not looking at anybody, Prabhu. I'm just talking about myself only. This mind is very strong, and they will actually give 100 and thousands of reasons for not doing that. It's very cunning. It's very cunning. It's very cheating. And that mana eva hi manushyana karanam bandha mokshe. This mind is the reason for his karanam bandha. Bandha means bondage. Mokshe. And also the reason for moksha also. If you are actually utilizing this mind properly, then this mind is the prime reason for you to become moksha. Because with the mind, you can actually get, Atma, Udhared Atman Atmanam, Na Atmanam Avasade. Atmaiva hi Ripur Atmanam, Atmaiva Bandhur, Atmaiva Ripur Atmanam. Your Atma, or that means your mind itself, is your Bandhu, and your mind itself is your enemy. And most of us are having mind as our
Enemy.
Okay, but you admitted.
Yes.
So we have to make. Radhana Swami Maharaj gives a very beautiful example in his class. He says that there is 2 dogs inside us. 2 dogs, right? And one dog is very strong and is just barking so loudly, right? And the other dog is actually very, very weak, and he was just like doing like that. The dog, which is actually is very strong and barking very loudly, what will be the reason?
He's being fed all the time.
There you go. Because that is a dog which we feed
All the time.
all the time. And the other dog, that one?
We don't give them enough food.
Enough food. It's in starvation.
Yeah.
And that dog which is actually barking is the one who is superior, and that's what's actually controlling us. And that dog barks, and then we go beyond that, right? And which is that dog which is barking very strongly? It's our material dog.
Material, yeah.
What are we feeding to this dog? Is all these things, right?
Material activities.
Whatever our mind is wanting, we are actually feeding. Oh, I want this one, I will feed that. I'll want this one, I'll feed that. I'll just say whatever I want to like, I'll just do everything. And that's when our mind is becoming very strong in that area, material. Whereas our spiritual side is very weak. And that's what that dog is actually very weak. Right? And that's what that dog is not actually. So that is what feeding this dog, right, is the most important thing. And when we started feeding this dog, then what happens is that this dog will slowly getting stronger. And one day this dog will overpower the other one. Right? And what is the feeding? And one is our material feeding, and that is whatever we know. I don't have to tell what are the things which we feed to our mind. Everybody has their own, life open, which is actually feeding our mind with all the material necessities. I don't have to tell an example. Now, what is the feeding for the other dog, the spiritual dog?
Prabhu, the most nutritional feeding is chanting.
Exactly. Chanting is the most nutritional feeding, correct, as Prabhu said. And along with the chanting, we need to have prasadam, yes. Of course, yes. Along with the
Association of devotees.
association of devotees, yes. And most important thing,
Reading.
knowledge, reading of the scriptures. Because see, sometimes what happens is that, sometimes we tend to forget about this very important factor. Rupa Goswami actually says that jnana is very much essential till the time we actually stand by ourselves in the platform of bhakti. Let me repeat. Jnana or knowledge is very much important or essential till we stand by ourselves in our legs in the platform of bhakti. What does that mean?
Bhakti can fall anytime.
Exactly, it's like a creeper. You know, Prabhu, it's like a creeper. When the creeper, or rather it's just like a small plant, and when this plant is very tender, what do? We actually put a stick.
Yeah.
What does the stick do to this plant?
Support.
Support from
Falling down.
falling down, right? So we definitely need to have that philosophy deeply rooted in us. If the philosophy is there in us, deeply rooted, nothing can deter us from this thing. Because only chanting will not help us. Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this whole energy in this chanting, right? But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also asked his disciples to write all this Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Vipno Shad Dharma Samstavano. Who he is talking about? Srinivasa Acharya. He's talking about who? Goswamis. And Goswamis are disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see the contradiction here? Actually, it's not contradiction. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that, okay, you have to read chanting is the only one. But then he has actually asked his disciples to establish the Shad Dharma. By what? Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuna. To become Nipuna. Nipuna means expert. And then establish a Shad Dharma Samstapako. All the Shad Dharmas, the 6 Dharmas you have to establish. Right? And then you just, because when you chant, again, we will be sometimes in that emotional level. We will be in that superficial level of understanding. And tomorrow somebody asks you to chant another thing, you will easily chant that also. You know? And that's what some of the devotees will also be chanting Hanuman Chalisa. Prabhu, what is wrong in chanting Hanuman Chalisa? It's okay. It's fine. But then we don't have the correct philosophy of our acharyas which has been given to us. Because the philosophy is not deep rooted. Because we don't understand why the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the only Mahamantra which has been given. And why that is the significance in this Kali Yuga. We don't understand. The philosophy is not Siddhanta Bhuliye. What is that said, bro? Siddhanta Bhuliye? Not karo alasa. Alasa means you will become lazy otherwise. Right? When you forget the Siddhanta, the philosophy, that will actually make you completely forget about the whole structure. It's like making a big structure without a foundation, or rather without a strong foundation, if I can say, right? And that is what is actually happening in this confidential knowledge. So with that, we'll start the class today. I was just talking a brief introduction about the confidential knowledge. Sorry, I'll just wrap it up in 5 minutes. Krishna is actually talking about it. Sorry, I didn't get to the shloka today. I was just talking about confidential knowledge is such a very deep philosophy. We can just speak over and over and over again. Still, we will not cover the whole thing. Why? Because we are actually talking about the how, again, I was coming to that point, how Krishna is great. And what actually is, it's most important in understanding Krishna in his totality. As Krishna as it is, right? Krishna as it is. Prabhupada says that Bhagavad Gita as it is. We have to understand Krishna as it is. And for understanding Krishna as it is, these books are very, very essential for us. And that is what we are trying in a humble way. See, I'm not qualified to sit in this Vyasasana and talk about this thing. I'm not at all qualified. I totally understand that. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada in one of the purport is giving a big, qualification of what should be a Vyasadeva. Or Vyasadeva means a person who is sitting on the Vyasasana. And what is and to be a person who is, Vyasasana is a tall order. Not everybody can sit. But then how come a person like me sitting in the Vyasasana and just talking about this great elevated subject matter? And that too, a great assembled Vaishnavas like this. What is my qualification? I have no qualification. Now that's what I'm just simply bowing down to my Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada to give me that some little bit of qualification so that I can borrow the words which they spoke and I represent to it. I don't speak a single word which is not been manufactured by me, because I don't have anything to manufacture. There is no raw materials for me in my mind. It's corrupted. But as long as I can pass the message as it is to you, then my job is done. And all of us are doing, right? And that's what Prabhupada says that. Prabhupada says that a person who is qualified the qualification of a person who is sitting in the Vyasasana should not be having a tinge of the 6 anarthas. Right? What are 6 anarthas? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Should not be having this. And he should be thoroughly established in the philosophy and the scriptures. And who is actually being treated as the topmost preacher? Shukadeva Goswami. And Shukadeva Goswami is our preceptor, wherein we look forward and we will be following his, and of course Vyasadeva, and that's what is called Vyasasana. But Prabhupada says, this is the what is it called? This is the demand of time. I forgot what's the word used? It's an urgency. It's an urgent situation, right? We have no other way but to. We have to come up. We have to come forward. We don't have to wait till we become all this, because there is. If let's imagine, in our society, if all of us wait till we become completely pure and completely devoid of all these 6 anarthas, will anybody be there to preach? But it's that concession Srila Prabhupada is giving us. I think last time Prabhu was actually mentioning that the standard is 64 rounds. According to Gaudiya Vaishnavism, the standard is 64 rounds. But Srila Prabhupada has actually reduced that to 1/4. Huh? Just reduced to 1/4, 16, right? Because, and what does that concession means to us? Is the matter of urgency. There is no time, because every single day, this time is getting deteriorated. Every single day. Kali Kala is getting worse and worse, and it's not going to get better. Today, practicing bhakti today is not the same as practicing bhakti tomorrow. Practicing bhakti today is not same as practicing bhakti tomorrow. Why? Because the Kali is actually having his grip more and more and more and more and that's what Prabhupada says, that if possible, come out of this material world by this birth itself. Because if somebody sometimes we just say that, philosophically we say that, what's the problem? One person asked this to me, Prabhu, what's the problem? We have time, right? Anyways, we just started bhakti, and there is no way I can go back to the, what is that called, lower species of life. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada, guarantees that you will get a human birth. Shuchinam Srimadam Gehe Yoga Brashta Vijay. And this is talking about a person who is actually Yoga Brashta. We are Bhakta Brashta. Right? Bhakti Brashta means, fallen from Bhakti. So Bhakti Brashta means you will be definitely having a very top level. Prabhupada, several places Prabhupada says that, you will be definitely get a devotee's life wherein you will be continuing from where you left. So why are we just, breaking our head so much? Just taking step by step. Yes, that is true. Prabhupada's word will not go wrong, because it's a Param Vaishnava's word. It will not go wrong. What's the problem there? Is that the time will not be favorable. The time is changing. See, Prabhu, today I'm struggling with my 16 rounds, with my material and mental afflictions. I'm struggling with my studying of the Shastras. I'm struggling with my Vaishnava etiquettes. How am I dealing with my fellow human beings? How am I dealing with the Vaishnavas? Is my fabric of my behavior is changing? Am I becoming a real Vaishnava human being by doing all these things? Is my mind, actually I'm able to control my mind at least a little bit? All these are the questions in front of us, right? So we are all struggling with this thing. And we have to overcome all these inabilities through performing bhakti. And that's what we are doing. And every single day, we are actually struggling. And as and when the time goes by, this struggle will become much more harder and harder. Right? Harder and harder. Because have you seen there are like, what is that called? CrossFit hurdles, something like that. Wherein you have to just, first of all, you have to just cling on to the rope and then just climb and then go. Initially it feels like very easier steps, right? But as and when it actually goes towards the end of the target, it will actually become much harder and harder. You really have to have that real stamina to finish that hurdles. The same way, just imagine if you're actually not completing our bhakti this life. So probably, let's say a person, he has got, let's say, 30 more years to go, right? And if you're actually not practicing and we are not finishing it in 30 years, 30 years means like what? 2055, right? So 2055, when he is leaving his body, he has not finished his sadhana. He just taken it casually, right? Just say that casually, and he's only finished 10%. So that thinking that okay, next birth I'm guaranteed a Vaishnava life, and I will be guaranteed will be chanting the holy name without fail, because Shastra says that, Prabhupada says that. Then you take the birth in 2055, right? But do you think that 2055 will be the same as 2025? Just imagine 30 years from now, bro. Now itself, it's too much of distraction, too much of mental trauma, too much of thing. Do you think that we'll be able to sit and chant 16 rounds in 2055? So peacefully as we do now? Very difficult. What the world will be at that point of time? People will be really running for their survival, for the water, for the food, for the things. Prabhupada says that in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada says in Bhagavatam, as and when Kali is actually getting thing. 30 years is just not that far away. So we think that okay, in 30 years, that means in 2055 I'll take another birth as a devotee. Yes, you will take as a devotee, but then your journey will be extremely difficult. It's just like you get a car, you get a Mercedes car, very comfortable car. But what if the road is not good? Extremely bumpy, with too much of sharp turns and everything. And that is why Prabhupada says that, okay, yes, you will get, but the time is not in our favor. We are in a very slippery slope condition. So as much as possible, just imagine, if a person has completed 10% and at 2055 he is able to start from 11. But if he is able to finish 90% of his that thing in this life, and then he only have to cover that 10%, probably that should be his last life. He don't have to take a birth again. Now, if a person who is only able to complete till 10%, and then in 2055, he must the mileage he is going to get in 2055 to finish another 90% is much tougher. So he might be only able to finish another 20%. Then they have to take another birth, and that birth will be another 50 years later. What is 50 or 55 plus 50? 2105. My God, can you imagine 2105? People will eat each other. And at that time you will be sitting and chanting 16 rounds. Just imagine, Prabhu. My Guru Maharaj always, get out of here as early as possible. This place is not good for a gentleman. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he is quoting Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So, with that I will finish. Let that be a thought for us. Keep that in our mind that, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajeta Purusham. What is that called? Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajeta Purusham. We have to really put our 100% in performing bhakti. Don't take it so cheaply. We might actually take it so cheaply thinking that, okay, what it is. But the reality is hitting us very badly. It's very harsh. Of this world is very harsh. And until and unless we feel that urgency that, okay, I have to get out of this place. This place is not good for me. There is a place wherein there is no miseries, there is no problems, there is no mortgage, there is no office, there is no school. In Vaikuntha, in Goloka or Vaikuntha, there is no school, Prabhu. There is no office. You don't have to go to office. There is no mortgage. All the houses are free. You can choose your house. You want a 2-story house? There is a 2-story house. You want a big house with a 4-acre garden? You will get a 4-acre garden. You need to have a house with a lot of orchards and oranges? You will get an oranges. You need a jackfruit tree? You will get a jackfruit tree. In the jackfruit tree, there is also mangoes also. Mango, jackfruit tree, mixed one. Kalpa vrikshas. All these things are there. And we just have to go there and we just have to enjoy for the rest of our lives. This is Bhagavatam saying. I'm just not saying a fantasy thing. Bhagavatam says that. Brahma Samhita says that. Sriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha. Kalpataravo Druma Bhumis Chintamani Toyam Amrutam. Amrutam means, the Toyam means water. Toyam means water. Toyam Amrutam. The water is nectar. Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanam Api Vamshi Priyasam. This is what Vaikuntha is. This is what the place we are supposed to go. This is the place where we came down and we are going back.
No miseries.
No miseries, Vaikuntha. So let's put our leg on the gas and then accelerate as much as possible. Chanting, studying the scriptures, associating with devotees, taking prasadam, doing upasana, worship of the Lord, and then following the regulative principles. I mean, who cannot do this? Prabhupada asked a question in Bhagavad Gita. Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada asked this question. What is the statement Prabhupada says? Who can say no to this Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada asked this question. Who can say no to this Krishna consciousness life? Why are we saying no to the Krishna consciousness life? What is the problem in doing that? What is the problem for us to chant? Prabhupada is not asking us to stop everything and chant. Did he ask him? Prabhupada is asking, chant when you get some time. Prabhupada is not asking like, okay, you just stop everything and then do it. Krishna himself is saying, just do your work, Arjuna. And then you just do the dharma also. And dharma, this is the param dharma. When you are actually doing your dharma meticulously, along with your spiritual side, then your life will be sublime. Prabhupada says that. If you are actually, one reporter, I'll just stop this with this one example. One reporter was asking Srila Prabhupada. He asked Srila Prabhupada that, you are doing so many things, right? You are, doing this 4 regulative principles. You are not eating meat. You are actually, doing so much restrictions and everything. And after doing so much of these things, what if there is no Krishna at the end of the life? Do you get my question? That's a fair question, right? And then Prabhupada said, yes, right. We are doing a restrictive life. We are not eating meat. We are doing this thing, that thing, all. But we are not missing anything. Yes, we are not eating meat, but I am actually having a very sumptuous feast than you. So many varieties of, dishes, sweets, and then savories, and so many things I am having. Right? I am not missing anything. Restrictive life, yes, I am actually having a restrictive life, but I am not missing out of 365 days, 300 days are festivals only. So what am I missing? I am having actually festivals, I am actually celebrating with devotees. So I am not missing. So if I am actually, even if there is no Krishna, I am not missing my life. I am actually rather living a much more refined and a subtle life, a sublime life. much more refined, and a very, very sublime. I'm very much purified. My life is very much purified, you know. It's Maryat Pundari Kaksham Sa Bahya Abhyantara Shuchi. When we are actually doing everything with, you know, surrendering unto Krishna, the Shuchi, the life will become sublime and purified. Right? Krishna in this sloka, Krishna actually says, Vedyam Pavitram Omkara. Krishna says in this sloka. Pavitra means what?
Pure.
Krishna is a purifying force. Right? So, I have lived a very purified and a very sublime and a very pure life, and at the end, if there is no Krishna, that's okay. That's fine. But you have lived a life wherein you don't care for everything, maybe whatever you have to do. And what if Krishna is there at the end of your life?
How miserable.
Right? So that is the thing which are actually, you know, we follow and we believe in the Shastras. We believe in the Shastras, and we believe in Krishna, and we believe in Acharyas. And we think that, okay, yes, we at the end of our life, we will actually meet Krishna. And that's a faith, and that is a strong conviction I'm actually going forward. And I'm working towards that. And even if there is a chance that, okay, there is not there, I don't have to worry about it. But 99.999% there is a chance that, okay, if you are not following, you will be falling into Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Janani Jadhare Shayanam. Right? Idi samsare bahu dustare. This samsara is very difficult to come out. Right? So with that, I'll close this discussion. I sincerely seek your pardon if I have spoken anything wrong, and if I have spoken anything which is useful to you, that is from our acharyas. I'll take questions now, maybe 2 more minutes.
Having prashadam.
Any questions, Prabhus, Matajis? Did you understand what I was trying to say?
Yeah.
Did you follow what I was trying to say? No, it was too much technical, too dry. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
So just one comment,
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
I was listening to Rupanagu Prabhu.
Who?
Rupanagu.
Rupanuga Prabhu. Okay.
And one thing that hit home was talking about all this about bhakti and about completion and non-completion. He says, don't worry about the numbers. Just think one thing. That we are in a crisis here. The minute we put the urgency pedal on it, that we are in a crisis, that this could be the last one, the last chance, our whole paradigm will change.
Exactly.
I think that's
Urgency is a key word.
urgency is the key word.
Exactly.
Right? I think
Exactly.
that's what urgency, priority, whatever you want to put it.
Yeah.
But that's what he talked about.
Yeah, but the numbers matters. When we actually started thinking about it in this way, that is when you will actually start feeling the urgency. Otherwise, there is no way you will try to feel urgency.
Practicing and following.
Exactly. Jai.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah.
In the verse it says like Krishna is Om, right?
Krishna's?
Is Om, Pranam mantra.
Krishna is Om. Yes, yes. Om. Yeah. Vedyam Pavitram Omkara. Yeah.
So when we say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Ganapati Namaha,
Hmm.
are we addressing Krishna or the demigod?
Very good question. So, Om, Pranava, Krishna is actually saying, what is that? Pranava Vedeshu Sabdakhe Paurusham Nushu. I am actually the Omkara mantra, Krishna says. In several times, in 2 places Krishna says. Right? Here also Krishna says, Vedyam Pavitram Omkara. I am also the Om. Why Om is actually put in front of all the other things, right? Because remember I was actually talking people who are actually worshipping the demigods as in the form of Krishna. This is how Krishna is getting connected to the demigods. You see what I'm trying to say, Prabhu? It's like a coating and a pill. What's that called?
Drug.
Hmm?
The coating and the drug inside.
Yeah, the capsule and the medicine inside. Is the medicine valuable or the capsule more valuable? Valuable in the sense effective. Is the medicine inside, right? The capsule is just covering that one. So when you are actually adding Om, what happens is that you are actually you are indirectly connecting to the Krishna through that demigod. You know what I'm trying to say? That is what the third category I was talking about. Etatvena prataktvena. Prataktvena means a person who is actually indirectly connecting to Krishna through the demigods. Right? So Omkara is completely and purely Vishnu. Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Tada Pashyanti Surayya. Right? And that Om is the Bija mantra for all the mantras. And that is very tactfully and that is very smartly induced by the Vedas in all the mantras. Why? Because when you are actually doing that, whatever it is, Om Sharavanaya Namah, Om Ganapataye Namah, right? When you are actually doing that Om mantra, you are actually connecting that demigod through, you are connecting to Krishna through that demigod, right? So Omkara is the Bija mantra for proprietary for Vishnu himself. But we can use Om because Om has no, what's that called? Om has no, is impersonal, if you can say that way, right? Om is impersonal. Impersonal means what? Like for example, if I say Shri, I can use Shri for Shri Radha Govinda Hari Prabhu, Shri Sudarshan Prabhu, Shri Santosh Prabhu, or whatever. Now, Shri, yes, Shri is the word of Lakshmi Devi, but Shri is an addressing word, correct? That addressing word is impersonal because I can actually use that with the others also. But what is Shri actually? What is Shri actually? Shri is the proprietor of, who is Shri? Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the proprietor of Narayan. Right? You see her connection? So Omkara can be used for other mantras, Prabhu, but this is a very wise way of Vedas connecting Krishna or Vishnu to the other demigods. So when you are actually saying Om Namah Shivaya, you are actually addressing Shiva, but you are indirectly connecting to Vishnu through Shiva. That is the Vaishnava philosophy. Right? Omkara is actually said that Omkara can be chanted. But the thing is, like, there are in the Taittiriya Upanishads actually said that in the Taittiriya Upanishad it says that Omkara has to be always being chanted. Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you just keep that down? Keep that up, please. Very good, thank you. In the Taittiriya Upanishad said that Omkara has to be chanted by the guidance of a guru. Anybody, there is no restriction for chanting Omkara. Right? Gayatri, there is even more restriction. But Omkara, it is that Omkara, you have to get it from the Guru and you have to chant accordingly. Right? Because Omkara is a Bija mantra. You don't say simply Om, Om, Om. Om has to add it with some other mantras. Right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namah Shivaya. All these things has, because this is the Bija. Bija means the seed mantra. That has to be added with the other mantras. And that mantras has to get from the actual Guru, spiritual master, and then you have to follow that. But otherwise, you just simply say Om, Om, Om. Because this all like become apasampradayas nowadays, Prabhu. Anybody can do any mantra. Right? Like for example, Gayatri mantra. Like people just simply say Gayatri mantra. Gayatri has to be chanted very softly, guhya, is secret, and then it has to be given by a guru to you. Right? All these things are there, which we don't follow because so much things are floating around, and then we don't know what is the process in doing that. To answer your question, yes, Om have certain restrictions, but there is no rule there that okay, only Brahmanas can chant. It's not like that. Anybody can chant, but it has to come from a guru, and the Bija mantra has to be added with the other mantras. What it is added with the Om. Right? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. नहीं बोलने वालों की गौर प्रेमानंदी।